Hello. Hello. Hi Angela, I see you in the comments. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. It's strange going live in the afternoon because we usually do this on Fridays at 10 a.m. Central. But I'm Kyoka, the Aqua Black Nomad. I'm a writer, I'm a dog mom. There's a dog right here getting on my nerves. I'm also a solo traveler. Sometimes I take my doggies with me. This channel is for Black women who want to do the same thing, who want to get out there and see the world, but might be a little shy, might be a little introverted and apprehensive about travel, might be a little awkward. This is for you. This is a place where I can show you all the amazing travelers who are abroad, who travel often, and who have great things to share. So, somebody that I'm bringing on today, well, let me back up. So usually on our Friday lives, we just kind of get on here and we just kind of chat, right? But September has been the month that I've had guests come on every Friday. And today I have a very special homegirl, home skillet biscuit, somebody in my collective, right? My Exodus Summit collective, by the way. If you haven't gotten your ticket for that, you can look in the description box. Use my affiliate link because you show support to the channel. Let your girl know that you care, right? But this is somebody who I actually met through Exodus Summit, somebody in my community. She's wonderful. I'll let her introduce herself. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Ba bam.
Oh, boom. What's up? How you doing? How you doing?
D, tell the people who you are.
Hello, everyone. I am D. Watkins. I am a long-term investor in the stock market as well as in real estate. I run a business and a YouTube channel called Brown Girls Invest Too. My channel and my business is geared toward helping other Black and Brown women learn how to save more money, spend less money, and grow their money by investing in the stock market. What else? I'm originally from Chicago. I have a home in Atlanta, and I moved 2 years ago to Mexico. I am an expat. As Kyoka mentioned, I travel quite a bit, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much, Kyoka. I appreciate this. This is great.
And expat where? Where are you right now?
Where am I right now? I am in Mexico, San Miguel de Allende. I started off in Guadalajara, but I moved here at the end of December.
Yes, and I'm happy you're here as well. We're going to talk a little bit about travel. We're going to also talk about getting your finances together to go abroad if that's something you want to do, or if you just want to incorporate more travel into your life. Dee is kind of the person to go to for that.
That's
She
right.
has exactly. And as you come into the room, please don't forget to like the video. Please drop down in the comments and let me know you're here. And let's begin. So, Dee, what made you settle on Mexico?
Settle? Why did I decide to move? It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I decided on I
Wait,
decided on Mexico because it is close to the U.S. Right? I actually came here with my dogs, and I wasn't originally planning to be gone for as long as I have. I was really just trying to take a bit of a break, and it was easy to get to. I saw quite a bit of what was happening in Mexico. I traveled here before, but I decided to check out a different part of Mexico. So that's why I ended up here.
perfect. And you brought your doggies with you. What was that
I
experience
did.
like?
Aha! It's been an experience. I'm glad they're here with me, actually. And by the way, if they start barking, pardon me because I meant to put them away. It's been pretty cool. If I'm traveling by myself, I'm not really by myself. I got my little guys with me, as well as my community. But traveling here, I actually drove, so they were a benefit helping me to get here and keep people off my car, and keep them off me. I got
Yeah,
little
we roll
guys.
deep.
That's right. I got little guys, but they don't think they little guys, so that's a good thing.
I understand. This is a dog forward channel. You can hear my dog Frank in the background letting us know
Okay.
he's
All right.
here.
All right. That's
Um,
right.
but yeah, you roll deep when you travel with your pets. You always have somebody with you, gang gang.
That's
Um,
right. And you
but
know what? Mine gonna represent in just a minute. Don't worry about
amazing.
it.
I really hope you stop. I've told him all like
One
He's going
question:
up for
am I supposed to
adoptions.
see comments or anything? Because I see nothing.
That's because the people are not down in the comments letting us know that they're
Okay,
there.
just
If you
just
could just
wondering. Just
speak, if
wondering.
you could just drop down in the comments, let
Say
D
hi
know
to
that
me
you're
now.
around.
Say hey, how
Say
you?
hi to D.
That's
Tell
right.
her welcome to the channel. But um so you are in the financial coaching space. What really brought you there? How did you decide to like help other black women?
This has been a long term thing, long time thing. I did not come up with money, so I don't like seeing anyone else in a bad situation. So really, what I'm trying to do is help other people become better with their money. Right? As I came up, hey Yvonne, thank you. As I came up, things weren't good for me. But moving. Hello, Black Flourishing and Free. Hey Zolani, how are you? Thank you for joining. I know you got a
We
bunch
trying
going
to
on.
get Lonnie on the channel. Exactly. We trying to get her on the channel.
She'll
Stay
be here.
tuned.
She'll be here. She'll be here. But anyway, it's really just to kind of help folks not go through some of the situations that I went through as a child. And it's money is just not something that we talk about. We probably should, not probably, we should. And I help people along with that. Even if you're speaking of your work, people don't talk about their salary. You should always talk about money in every situation you're in. You never know if there's a chance that you could be doing better financially. You don't know who's sitting next to you, if they're able to help you. Do some networking that way, or just being better with your money.
Now you touched on a lot of things
I
in
did.
in that. Because people don't like to discuss their coin,
Yeah.
especially say what you gonna say.
No, no. You say what you gonna say. What you got to
Well,
say?
I was gonna say, especially like if they're not doing financially well, it's kind of a topic where it's almost like an intimate discussion, right? Like where you have to be vulnerable and say, like, I've made some bad decisions.
Sure, that's the very reason you should. People will suffer in silence. You should not do that. As I mentioned before, you don't know who's sitting next to you. The person next to you may be able to give you some insight or some direction in helping you do better with your money or whatever in life. I am big on raising your hand if you need help, right? And so what I find often is that people either they just don't know. We weren't taught, right? Culturally, I don't know where you guys come from or what your background is, but there was not much talking about money if in my household. If we did any talking, it was the lack of it, right? And so it is when you find out that you can do better with your money by doing just this small thing that you start doing better with your money. It is when you let your family know and your friends know that I am struggling, that if they love you, if they care about you, then they say, listen, we don't have to go out this weekend. Come on over to my house. I got some chicken. You bring some drink. We're going to have a good time. You need people in your life to be able to support you through um, whatever struggles you're going through. And constantly having someone say, come on, let's go out. Let's do this. And you're just going along and getting in debt while you're doing it. That's not the way that should be. You should let people know where you are so that they can help you in your journey. Same way as if you're on a diet, but you got somebody pushing donuts at you. That's not somebody that's supporting you in what you're trying to do.
That's true. That's very true.
I'll take a
Um,
donut now.
I live for a donut. Hi, thriving on
Hey,
enough. Good morning.
hey, Stephanie. Thank you. I'm gonna call them by their name if I know it. I'm gonna call you by your government name. Don't you
As
call
you
me
can
by
see, D
mine.
is a mess. As you can see, D
A
is a
little bit.
mess.
A little bit.
I love it.
Nothing
I
wrong with
love
being a
it. I
mess.
love it. But this is why you need community, right? That's what we were talking about.
Sure,
Like just
absolutely.
saying, "Hey, things are not going so well. I may need some help," right? Um,
Right.
and another way that you can get help is D has this financial coaching
Oh,
program
I'm
that I'm
just
gonna
launching.
put in the
Yeah.
yeah that she's just launched that she's gonna put into that I'm gonna actually put into the comments. I'm gonna pin it.
Thank you very
She
much. I appreciate
does,
that.
of course, course. 1 second. But I also didn't grow up with people talking about money in a positive way, and I think that's a lot of Black and brown people's experience. Just
It is.
because systemically we don't really have any, we don't really have wealth, right? Um,
Well,
you have a
yes.
caveat.
No. We don't have goo gobs of it. That is true.
Mm.
However, the money that we do have, sometimes we don't know where we can put it where it's most beneficial for us. And sometimes we want to wear our money more than anything. So, hey Aileen. Yeah.
That was a drag. Part of it is this
But it is
idea,
though.
but it also ties into your girlfriend's always inviting you out to go eat, and they don't know your financial situation, right? So like, I think there's this idea about hyper consumerism. Oh, look, it's Travelmatic. What's up? That's the broski. There's not a lot of men on my channel, but that's
Oh,
that's
what's
a
up,
man who
broski?
supports my channel. He's a
Hey
broski.
man. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, and good good afternoon, Eileen. But yeah, so like a lot of it is hyper consumerism, like the need to buy things, creating needs that you don't actually have, their wants, right? And then buying something for it, or like having to, Sunday brunching is a thing, so because it's an excuse to spend money, right? Like designer clothes and luxury cars and all these things when you're like in debt, like you're buying all these things in your credit card, you're buying all these things, with money that you don't have. No shade, no
Yeah,
shade.
unfortunately, what tends to happen is because people don't know, they don't, well, most people don't put their money into things that appreciate in value. And so if you are chasing something, if you're keeping up with someone, you're going to be throwing your money at things that aren't going to serve you later. The thing is somebody might be, you go out and buy a nice person that looks cute for 5 minutes, but then that bill comes, right? Or you find out later on that maybe you could have spent that money towards something else, right? Unfortunately, the high that you get from spending money immediately, you end up having being in this vicious cycle where you feel terrible about it later, and then it just creates bigger problems for you. I don't believe in that at all. That's right. You keep doing that.
Thank you. So like since you started,
No, no, no.
he's okay. Since you started
Okay.
financial coaching,
Yeah.
because we can't hear it as loud as you might be hearing it.
Okay,
Uh,
great. Thank you.
so since you started financial coaching, what's some of the biggest things that you've seen? Like, what are some of the biggest money concerns that people have right now?
The biggest money concerns that they haven't saved enough, right?
Mm.
Um, I am right now, probably my larger demographic are people that are, I'm going to say, not 35, say 40 and up, right? And they just not have not saved enough. And part of that is because they didn't know where to put it, right? Now, some of them, most of them have the money. They just didn't know where to put that money to make it grow for them, right? So that's not really loud, huh?
Is that Hey Phoenix? No, that's kind of loud, but it's okay.
That's cool. Guys. I can actually put them somewhere where they'll be more quiet if you like.
Okay, you want something else? A second. I can take
Yes.
you off the screen. Yep. Okay. Okay. Hi. As everybody comes into the room, please like the video. Please drop down in the comments. Dee has stepped away to put her dogs up. Child, this is a dog forward channel. We understand that our little ankle biters sometimes want to let us know that they are in the room, and we love that for them. However, they make a lot of noise. So hold on, she's back. Hi.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
It's okay. Totally okay. So people are concerned that they aren't saving enough money or
Yes.
investing enough. Yeah.
Well, both. Yeah, both. Those are two different things, but they haven't done either. And the bigger thing is that they just didn't know where to put it, or they were afraid to even begin. So that goes back to never having conversations when they came up, or learning how to where and how to operate with their money.
Eileen says, I'm telling my age, but I learned about keeping your checkbook balance, not about credit cards and how credit scores worked. I didn't learn about a workable budget until I moved out on my own. I think that's a lot of people's experience,
Right.
at least it was
Yeah,
mine.
it is. It's the checkbook balancing that she's that's the age giving portion. But yeah, that is a lot of people's experience, right? We learned how to, and by the way, if you're using your checkbook, what you were doing is you were paying bills, right? You were budgeting, hopefully, and managing the money that you got in ever so often. So that's the every paycheck or every month, this is my balance, this is what I spent, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Speaking about credit cards and credit scores, right? I am, and by the way, I don't do any credit card, I don't do any of that fixing of credit stuff, or credit score. I don't do that at all. I just pay my bills and teach other people to keep up with their bills, and just not to have any debt at all. But if you can at all, just if you cannot afford to do it, don't do it, because otherwise you're putting yourself in debt. Debt is going to hurt you in several different ways. It's going to hurt you immediately in that next bill while they're charging you interest. It's going to hurt you later on if you get behind in your bills, and that debt starts to creep up on you. Now you got a poor debt to income ratio, right? Um, your insurance is going to be based on it. Getting car insurance, home insurance, whether you want to buy a big ticket item, stay away from debt. I mean, I'm not Dave Ramsey. I don't mean all debt, because I will use other people's money for my gain. But consumer debt is horrible, right? You go to the store and, or no, you go to the counter and you're buying something and they say, "Would you like the store credit card?" You get a 10% off. No, absolutely not. That is offensive to me, right? Usually the people at the counter don't understand. They're just trying to push something to get credit for it, right? Um, or win some prize within their job structure, right? But for us, you get that credit card and now you done bought something and you forget to pay it, or next month now they're adding interest onto what you just paid for. So the purse that you thought was so cute that day and you got on sale, it's not on sale anymore, because now they're adding interest to it, right? Those are the things I keep in mind. I don't want to pay more for something than it's worth. I don't, right? And you end up doing that when you're buying things on credit. If you can't afford to buy it right now, meaning if you don't have the cash for it right now, you shouldn't be doing it. Now, if you're going to use your credit to pay for something, get some points or something, and then pay that thing off the next month, do that. Otherwise, no, consumer debt, absolutely not. Not for me.
Yeah, and Dee has a YouTube channel where she actually gives this advice. And I'm putting it in the comment section because I mean, you've helped me a lot. And I'll talk a little bit about my situation. So, like, I remember in one of our earliest conversations, you were like, Kyoka, why are you using your credit card where you could just pay that in cash? Like, you have the money. Why don't you just start budgeting, set aside your expenses for the month in cash so you aren't using your credit card and paying it on it later. And this was kind of not it wasn't like a it was like a life shattering concept for me because I was kind of like, well, but I'm getting points and I'm traveling and I was like coming up with all these excuses about why I was putting on my credit card. And she was like, yeah, but you're ending up paying more because if you're paying it late, it's collecting interest and then you're paying more for whatever it is that you purchase. I was like,
Yeah.
what? But this is why you need community. This is why you need somebody to just say, hey, you're doing this wrong.
And it's not wrong. Let's just say, well, you can do it differently.
Right,
You can do it differently, right?
right.
And benefit from it. So that's the bigger thing for me. I don't know. I mean, I use credit cards, but I'm not going to be the one that ends up paying for whatever I just bought today. I'm not going to pay for that 3 years from now because that's what happens. Credit cards are designed to keep you in debt. That's it. Mm,
Yvonne says she's looking for a financial literacy group slash class for her niece now because all I learned was balancing checkbooks and paying bills on time. That's
so
nonsense.
that's great. I want to know how old your niece is and why are you doing it for your niece? Are you okay? I'm just wondering. I mean, I'm asking because she wants to give something to her niece. That's great. I'm just wondering if um, if she's doing well.
Oh, because she would teach her. She should be teaching her niece what she knows. Is that what you're trying to? So,
That as well. And that last person, I love. Hey, love. Their name is Hey Love. I love that.
oh, we see you. Thanks for supporting the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. So, if you have any money
exactly.
questions for
Exactly,
D,
Yvonne. Yes.
if you have any money questions for D, please put them in the comments and I'll get to them as we go along. Um. So, speaking of younger people and money management, do you have any advice for people who are just starting off or who are maybe in their 30s and maybe need some financial advice?
If they're just starting out or in their 30s, what's my advice for them? My advice for them is to get involved with your money, first of all. Um, my advice is to, if you're working and you have a uh, employer sponsored plan where they are matching your contributions, do that. Because you guys are younger, you have an advantage in that you have time, right? So your time is going to be your best friend because that will allow your money to grow and snowball, right? You give your money time to, pull up and make some mistakes, but you have the time to recover from those mistakes. And compounding interest is going to help you like none other. Okay. So, my advice is don't just go to work and work and work and then go spend your money. Take some of that money and put it aside to work for you while you're doing whatever it is you want to do in your life. Um, my advice would be not to keep up with other people trying to look and be a certain way, right? When you're doing that, you're trying to keep up with somebody else, thinking, you know, I want to be as cool or as whatever as they are. They in debt too, just so you know, right? Most Americans are in debt, and I am of the mind to always, I live today, but I also plan for tomorrow, right? And so I don't want to be working hard, right? If I have to go and work and earn money, that's fine. I'm going to do that. But while I'm working and earning money for the 8 hours that I am required to do it in a day, my money better be working for me 24 hours a day so that that lessens the amount that I'll have to work in years down the road.
So you said, I want to live for today but plan for tomorrow, I believe was the phrase.
I do them all. I mean, yes. I don't know what I said.
So I'll speak for the millennials. I'll speak for the millennials.
You
There's an
won't do that?
element here. There is an element here that is doing it big for social media, but there's also all is
Wow.
lost. The planet is going to blow up. We might as well just go on that vacation. So, what do you say to the
You know
people
what?
who it's so hard to think about 10, 20 years, 30 years in the future because right now it doesn't feel like you'll ever get there. I mean, in this economy, it
Hmm.
seems like
Where's the there? I mean, is the there in age or is the
an
there in
age.
some monetary in
I would
age?
say I would say it seems like you won't get there in age. It seems like you won't get there in financial stability when you're in your I would say mid to late 20s to probably like 35, 36. There's this consensus that the economy is trash, everybody's working, everybody's in debt, or everybody meaning our circle, right? So when is it going to end? Is financial freedom possible? Is retirement possible? When you're, I know a lot of people work in two jobs, you know?
Okay. So all of those things are possible. I'm going to say something because you mentioned, and this isn't a millennial. You mentioned the age 36, and that triggered something for me. I have a friend that your age was 36. All right, and I said, well, you should probably start putting some money to the side. And she said, no, I'm not going to. I said, why? She said, I'm not going to live to be 40. What do you mean? What do you mean? What's happening? And it was because she lost many of her family members before the age of 40. And I said, well, I'm sorry to hear that. You don't know what's going to happen, though, right? You never know what's going to happen. So that 36-year-old woman right now, she's 51, right? So just because you think you're not going to make it to a certain age or you're not going to make it to a certain thing doesn't mean you shouldn't plan for it, right? Um, Going back to the millennials, if the whole two jobs thing. Okay, you got two jobs. Now, why do you have two jobs? Do you have two jobs because your expenses require that? I understand things are expensive, right? I got that. But are there things that you can do in your own life to try and live off of this amount of money from one job and then that second one be doing something for your future? Everybody has the expectation. I'm sorry, not everybody does that. I'll say this. If you think that there is no reason for you to be putting money or to the side or striving for anything particular in your life down the line, I don't get what's the point then. I don't understand what the point of you even being here. And I'm not saying don't go off yourself. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is you obviously think there's a reason for you to continue every day. So if you're going to continue every day, that means life is happening, things are happening, right? You should plan for those days down the road. You don't have to do tons, right? If you think you don't have the money to do it, maybe you do. Maybe it's in some of the living that you're doing right now. Maybe it's in you're traveling a lot or you're going out a lot. Some of that money can be put toward the possibility that you are here later on. And I think maybe folks don't understand the what money can do, right? I don't think you understand how money can compound. And if you take a little bit of money and you are consistent with taking a little bit of money and putting it away, that little bit of money is going to be a whole lot of money. I promise you that. I know that for myself. You know me right now. You know me in the state that I am right now. Uh, I came from $222 a week before taxes, by the way, right? Now, economies were different. That's for sure. But out of $222 a week, you take taxes out, you take whatever else I had to do out of that money. I am retired. I've been retired since the age of 49. Right? I retired 5.5 years ago. That did not happen because one day somebody dropped a boatload of money on me. It happened because I was very consistent with small amounts of money and diligent about how I was spending my money. I was clear that I'm going to live today. I don't deny myself, and I did not deny myself of anything, right? But what I also know is that I don't want to live how I used to live growing up as a child. And if you want your life to be different, you have to do different things, right? So if your family didn't save, if your family didn't invest, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. That means you should be the first to do it.
Absolutely.
Something huge
Beats
is
fine.
happening. Okay.
But
Okay.
it sounds like you're talking about a mindset shift, right? Stop
Yeah.
living so much with stop gratifying yourself so much that you're not thinking about the future. And not even the future in an overwhelming sense, but just like putting a little bit aside, a little bit what you can put away because 10 years from now it'll help you. 20 years from now it'll help you.
I will ask this: if you are working two jobs, and I deserve this. I made this money. I'm gonna go. I'm going out. I'm gonna do this. Okay, yeah, you
I say the
deserve it.
same thing when I get cake.
Me too. Right? Um, if you feel like you deserve that, do you deserve feeling horrible when you don't have?
Mm,
You don't. I don't want to keep myself in a state of survival mode, because that's what you're doing. And I also never wanted to have my job come tap me on the shoulder and say, we don't need you anymore. Every 2 weeks, if you guys are W-2 workers, you go up there and you say, listen, what do you guys want me to do for the next 2 weeks? They say, do this, that, and the third, and you go do those things. And at the end of that 2 weeks, they pay you, right? And you do that, keep doing that, right? At some point, or it could be, let me say this, that company could come tap you on the shoulder and say, don't come up here next week, because we just found an app that does your job, right? Or I just found someone younger than you that's going to do it cheaper than I pay you, right? So while you're out gratifying yourself and blowing the money, just making it, blowing it, making it, blowing it, some of that money could have been working for you. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if a panini will happen where the whole world gets shut down, right? You don't know what a panini is? Girl, fix your eyebrows. Are you serious?
I know the sandwich. I'm familiar with the
Oh, dear.
sandwich.
Okay. I
And
just didn't want to say,
this is a great time for me to remind everybody to like the video and drop down in the
yes,
comments.
please. Yes, please.
D then came down to the channel to give the people a good word. She's preaching some really good information. And if you love and support, share the video. Give us a
That's right. Give my
like.
like,
Give us a hit the like button. Hit the like button.
That's right. And share it with
Okay,
some
sorry,
people that could
continue.
benefit from this. I
That
said
could benefit from
panini.
this
I just didn't want to say
conversation.
pandemic. That's all I was saying. We had the entire world shut down. No one knew something like that would happen, right? Um, we see automation is coming. Whole departments are being, we don't need you anymore, right? You don't know what's going to happen. You need to be putting money aside for the what ifs. What if this happened? I'm not saying to walk around just paranoid, but prepare for whatever, right?
And it's not coming from a place of fear, it's coming actually from a place of self-preservation, for self-care.
Sure.
This is the greatest act of self-love would be setting your finances, putting your finances together so they can support you when you need them.
Okay. And you mentioned self love. So if you're feeling down and bad, oh God, I don't feel too good. Why don't you feel good? I spent too much money, or I don't have any money. There's a way to fix that. Put some
Yeah.
aside, you know? um, I don't know. I didn't have to work to. Thank you. I did not have to work two jobs. I am kind of a dinosaur. I worked for one company. I'm sorry. I worked smaller jobs like Gap and stuff like that. But my job turned into a career for me. I worked 30 years for the same company. I mean, I had different positions within that company, right? But I didn't do all this jumping around. You guys have an advantage where you give yourself a raise by going to another company. That wasn't a thing for me. Okay. And so if you're doing that, say you had this job, I don't know what the average salary is now. I think it's is it 68 or is it 87? I know that's a big difference, but I just looked something up and I can't remember. So say it's $68,000 a year, right? And you get another position, now you're at, I don't know, 80,000. Okay. Don't live like you make 80,000. Live like you make 68,000. And every time you get a raise, every time you move and go somewhere else and you better your money, don't go spend that money, right? Don't waste that money. Have that money work for you. I'm glad to hear that. She don't listen to you. She'll listen to me. I promise you. How old is she? 18, she listened to me. They listen to me.
See,
The
I
people,
listen.
the
I be
people
listening.
closest will never listen, right? Um, anyway, hopefully,
Hey Love says
she.
she spent a grip on quality food, learning to scale back while continuing to invest in my health.
So yeah, that's actually helpful. That's a good thing, right? Because you're not. It's your health. It's not just you want high cost food. You want high quality food that tends to cost more, but you're actually taking care of your health. Uh, okay,
Which
scale back. So if you're scaling back, what's that money going toward? Now put it towards something else that's going to help you somewhere else in your life.
do we have a question from Yvonne? I see. When did you start seriously investing?
This is going to be the answer is 19. The answer is 19 is I
Can't
know, don't
relate.
shake your head. Here's the reason. It is because that is when I first got into my 401k. So maybe that's not the serious time, but that's when I started with my 401k. I had someone trick me. I told you that I worked for $222 an hour, $222, what, $222 a week. I used to work for AT&T, right? And my first position, I was a 411 operator. The union steward comes over to me, puts a card on the table. She says, sign that. What is it? Sign it. What is it? Sign it. Ugh. Sign it, give it to her. She said, you're in the 401k. So
That's how
that
they
was
dealt
my
with your
first.
generation.
That was my, yeah, just do it. Okay. Right. But that was the best thing that ever happened for me. So you say seriously investing. I was upset that she put me in the 401k because I wasn't making that much money. However, that's one of the best things that ever happened for me. So after money was starting to come out of my check, later I'd look and say, oh man, look at there. I actually saved some money. And then it started growing and I'm like, whoa, I didn't put that much in. How did it get to be that much? And so after I started seeing the money was growing, I want to understand it. So probably maybe a couple years after that is when I started dibbling and dabbling in other things. Now I'm looking into mutual funds and all that. I wanted to know, or I like seeing money grow. It tickled me something awful, right? Um, so it was in my early 20s, right? And then from there I got into real estate. So yeah, it started when I was 19 and I got more interested in it about 22 or 23, somewhere like that.
So for somebody who, let's say they want to incorporate travel into their lives, they have this idea, maybe it's possible one day I could live abroad. What are
Mhm.
some steps that they could take right now, right? So like let's say the financial situation is they're living paycheck to paycheck, they're penny pitching right now, but they are like, is it possible one day in the future for me to live abroad? What advice would you give to that person?
Start looking at what you penny pinching for. Why are you penny pinching? Are you penny pinching because your income is not enough to support your lifestyle? If that's the case, then uh, I guess I can understand that. But if you are making enough money to support your lifestyle, I think you should start figuring out ways to take small amounts of money and putting it to the side. That money being put aside does not have to be for retirement. It can be a travel fund. It could be a Christmas fund. It could be I need a new car or down payment on a house, whatever. But put some money to the side so it can start working for you, right? If you need to do some kind of side gig, earn a little side money to put toward those things, or figure out where you have money leaking out of your budget. Uh, if you get a pizza every week, and I go to Walgreens and Walmart and just go nuts up in there, see if you can find some money in that money that you've been spending to preserve for yourself. Let me suggest this to people. If you take two of your last banking statements. And I want them to be your last two because I don't want you to change your behavior. I want you to see how you've been spending your money. If you go through two of your last month statements, just start categorizing your money, right? If you bought some gum, put it in a category. If you bought pizza, if you bought a purse, clothes, whatever, when you see how you're spending your money, you might find out I messed around and spent $400 on stupid stuff, whatever your stupid stuff is, whatever you decide is silly.
Food.
Okay.
It's always gonna be food. Yup.
If you're eating out all the time, that food was delicious. Oh my God, I enjoyed that. I really did. However, I'm broke at the end of the month. I'm gonna cut back on my meals, right? So if you categorize your money and you see how you've actually been spending your money, there's a good chance you're gonna change how you spend your money. Okay. So once you do that and you figure out where your money actually has been going to, you will figure out where your money is leaking out. And then you will cut that spending and change your behavior going forward. You change your behavior going forward. You want to travel. My money just went from a purse budget to uh, Thailand budget. Okay. My money just went from me going to get me some shrimp and grits every weekend to now I'm going to Bali, right? I ain't hating on the shrimp and grits. I appreciate them, but you can make them yourself anyway.
Can I?
If you can,
But
I can. You'll figure it out.
I'm coming by
You'll figure it
you. I said that.
out.
I have an open invitation. I'm gonna invite myself. I'm coming.
Come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
Prepare the extra bedroom. Um, but it sounds like a lot of this is just knowing what you're spending your money on, knowing what's coming in and what's going out.
Right, that. But let me say this. The other thing is understanding the power of money or the purpose of money. Food every time. Hey, Carmen.
Every time we live to
Um,
eat.
so I think people will make a different decision if you decide this restaurant. I really enjoy that. Hey, Linda, how are you, Dr. Linda? I'm sorry.
Right.
She
Put
she
some
earned that. So
respect
let me
on her
talk. Let
name.
me put some respect on her name. If you decide that me going out every weekend is something I want to do, you figure out how much that costs, right? And just for giggles, take that same amount of money. Now, I'm not saying take it physically. There's things you can take that amount of money, and I'm sorry, you can take the amount of money, put it into a calculator to show you if I had bought this stock, what would it have done? Now, you like shrimp and grits like that? Or do you like money that's going to continue to grow for you and buy you a ton of shrimp and grits?
You would
Which
buy
one?
so much
Right.
shrimp.
Right?
Like
Exactly.
that.
And it's not about that meal. It is about whatever thing you're spending your money on. If you start to understand that that same amount of money put somewhere else can grow for you, and I mean grow for you will change what you're doing with your money, right? If if you don't talk about investing, you don't know that if I've got the value of what I spent for this Apple phone and these iPod, what do you call them thing, AirPods and iPad and all
Is
that
that my
stuff.
neck you're coming for? Is that my neck that
Let
you're
me.
coming
I'm all
for?
right. I'm gonna get off your ears. I see what's in your ears right now. I'm gonna get off of that. But what I will say to you is, if you can take those same amounts of money and put it into companies that you're spending your money with, your money is gonna do far better for you. And those people are going to send you money back. And your money is going to grow in value, right? Not your, yes, your money will grow. Your portfolio will grow so that you free up yourself later on with the money that you made versus the money you spent. I would rather make money than spend money.
But D, like, okay, so for the people who, when they hear the word invest, they break out in hives. What
Mhm.
is step one? Like, let's say straight out the
Let-
gate, you got a 401k, you have no idea what that even means. How can they get started investing? They have no idea. What's step one?
Okay, I don't want to start there, but make sure you bring me back to there. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because I want people to understand they're already investing. You're already investing. Okay. Uh, Kyoko, do you own Apple stock?
First of all, this is not about me. This is not about me.
Anyone within the sound of my voice, do
No,
you own Apple stock? Right? If your answer is no, I want you to answer the question. No, seriously. I'm not, it's not a bad
no,
thing. It's helpful. You do not.
no.
Do you own Apple products?
Yes,
You do. Okay. So
yes,
now that means you have invested your money in products that you trust and value, right?
yes.
Anytime you spend your money on anything, you just made an investment. Anytime. Okay. Thank you, Aisha. Aisha, I guess.
Say it the black
Aisha.
way.
Aisha. Whatever.
I'm just
Hey
kidding.
girl. That's her name. Hey girl.
You see her
um,
attacking me? This is the problem when you bring your friends onto the live because we didn't really go over
this
what
is
she was gonna
okay,
ask me
listen.
back.
This is
We
a I'm
just
gonna I'm this is guys, I'm doing this this is all in love. This is friendly talk. Remember, we just talked about we don't talk about money. So let's talk about money. Okay? All right? Okay, Carmen, you own it. Thank you. That's great. She owns the stock. There are other people that own the products that are produced by that company. When you own the products of anything, you have invested your money in that product, right? If I want your services, I invest my money in your services. You you can invest your money by just spending it and owning the things, buying those things that you want to have, but you can also invest your money by putting it into the companies that you spend your money with. If you look around your house, you have Procter and Gamble products all throughout your house. You have Johnson and Johnson products. You might be wearing Nike shoes. You might have Apple products. You might be using a computer with Microsoft in it, Nvidia in it. Okay, Intel. Those are investments. So if you take your money, when you figure out that you can take your money and put it into something that's going to grow in value by 200%, those meals that you've been eating, they ain't gonna be so good. You ain't gonna like them that much. Or maybe you say, well, I got all these Apple products, and I use Apple as an example because there are so many people that have their products but don't own the company. I can't even tell you how much money Apple has owned for me. So for you guys, would you do yourself a favor? Once this is over, I want you to go on to I want you to type into the search bar and say investment calculator. Okay. And then you find some Aisha. Hey, Aisha. I got it right the first time. I know the second time I got it right. Anyway, so I want you to find something that allows you to put a stock, any company that you know of. Plug that in there and say, if I had bought that last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, how much would that amount of money, just for one share, be worth today? Okay, or yeah, today, right? And so when you figure out that the money that you have can be earning money, making money for you, you will change how you're spending your money. Okay, now how do you get started? So if you work for a company that has a employer sponsored plan, 401k, 457, TSP, 403b, right? Hopefully they match. If they match, get involved with your employer sponsored plan, right? And when I say match, meaning my company, my former company, used to work for AT&T. If I put in $100, they put down $80. That is an 80% match. That's free money. That's part of your compensation plan. Okay, so get all that right. If you don't work for a company and you work for yourself, open yourself up a earned income. Sorry, I had to think of something. Open yourself up a Roth IRA or some kind of a traditional IRA. That is a retirement savings account, right? Start putting money into that account. Now that's only a holder, okay? So then you have to decide, I want to buy something within that fund, all right? Within that plan. All right. And so then you start to invest your money. I don't know what to invest in. You invest in the top companies. I want you to invest in the total stock market. Okay. Total stock market on average will give you a 10% annual return. Now, is your money better served in shrimp and grits? This is a bad example. Or whatever dinner you had or whatever purse you have. Is it better sitting there collecting dust or gone because you've eaten it? Or is it better served in something that's going to grow in value? I mentioned Procter and Gamble. I'm not even going to do Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble is old, 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 right? I'm going to talk about Apple. Apple has been around for your entire lifetime. You use their products. That company ain't going nowhere no time soon. Procter and Gamble. When I say that, you say I don't know nothing about no Procter and Gamble. You can't take a bath without using Procter and Gamble products. If you washing your clothes, Tide, Gain, that's Procter and Gamble. Okay, those are consumer staples. Consumer staples means it's something that everybody needs, right? Uh, Procter and Gamble has been around since 1837, and Johnson and Johnson has been around since 1886. That's your mama's, your grandmama, your grandmama's. That's when that company started. Okay. And if it's been around that long, it's not going anywhere. Those are the companies you want to invest in. Those are the total stock market things that I'm speaking of. So get yourself an account, even if you have to open up a cash brokerage account and invest in the total stock market. The U.S. has the largest and most robust stock market there is. Put your money there and allow it to work for you. And Apple will turn around and send you some dividends, or Procter and Gamble will send you some dividends. Right? That's just from owning their company. That's what you do. Invest your money.
They need to pay me back. You right.
You right. I don't want to be right. I
You
want
right.
you to be. I want you to be wealthy. I ain't got to be right. Okay.
That's a word.
Come on
That's a
with
word.
it.
I want you to be wealthy.
That's
I
right.
want everybody to be wealthy.
You know, even if you don't get to wealthy, I want you to be better off financially, right? That's what I want for you, where you're not
I had a
struggling.
question on here. What does financial freedom mean to you?
Mean to me?
Yeah.
Or, okay. Yeah, okay to me. So it means having enough money where I can get the things that I want, the things that I need, and I don't have to worry about uh, paying for it. It means that I'm not required to be anywhere anytime. I can do what I want with my time. I can be anywhere I want to be. It means I don't have to worry as much. Uh, if an emergency comes up, all right, what's the emergency? I can take care of that. It means, uh, yeah, maybe. uh, I would say that things are going to be uh, easier for me, less friction, faster, better, all those things. That's what it means to me.
Yeah.
And by the
I
way,
think yeah.
financial freedom means the technical way to speak of it is actually you have enough money for all of your needs, all of your wants, and you're not worried about how you're going to pay for it.
Mm, okay. We have a question. Can you talk to the folks who are afraid of losing their gains in taxes, so prefer not to invest? She's making a face, everyone. I would just like everyone to see
Yeah,
that she's making a face.
I'm sorry, I had something, I had a little, something happened with my face. I can, Bayesian, that mean you from
I thought it was Bajan Alpha.
Bayesian Alpha. That means where'd I go? Where's Rihanna from? Where the girl from? Anyway, anyway, Bayesian. Never mind. I can't remember where.
Let's move along.
Um,
Let's move along.
we'll move along. So, can I talk to the folks who are afraid of losing their gains in taxes, so prefer not to invest? All right. So I always have. I don't have a problem with paying taxes, and the reason is because they're paying. They want money out of my taxes because I made money. They don't want all my money. They just want a portion of it. Okay. So if you prefer not to invest, how much money are you going to be able to make by not investing? You're never going to save more than you can invest. You're never going to earn more money than can be invested. I don't care about taxes. You can tax me all day long. That means I'd have made money all day long. Here, your little chunk. You take your chunk. That's fine. Taxes are going to pay for things that I will need at some point, or somebody. I'm not going to need them, but somebody is going to need them. Um, I don't know how else to answer that. If you if you're not investing, how else are you making your money? I seriously, if she can you see if she has an answer there for me? Because I can't
No,
see
she's
anything but
saying.
what's pull up.
Oh, you can't see the comments. Oh, sorry. Well, the
No, no,
people want you to know that Rihanna is from Barbados, and
that's Bayesian.
it
The
looks
people
like
I've been to Barbados, and there's another Bayesian. Where you got all these people from
no. She says
Barbados
you.
from?
They telling you that Rihanna is from Barbados.
That's because their name says Bayesian. That's what you call the people from Barbados.
Oh, well, she says you're the first person to put that together.
Come on, that's how. That's how. See, if I'm the first person to put that together, you should
Sorry.
listen to me about money.
There's the
All
point.
right.
The point is somewhere. The
I
point
hope
is
she.
somewhere. Is
I'm
the
saying,
point back here?
did she further?
Did the
What do you
point
mean
is
the
the point in
point?
the room with us?
There's
Is the
two
point
people
in the
from
room with
Barbados in
us?
here. Now I want to know: did Bayesian Alpha? Did she
Ooh,
follow up with
derailing.
anything?
What
What's
Bayesian?
happening?
Can you let us know what was the original question that you asked her?
Lord
Can you
Jesus,
repeat the
I'm,
question?
I'm asking her how else is she going to make money? How is she making her money? Is it through earned income, or how is she making money? That's what I want to know. And how are you going to play? How you plan to grow your money is what I'm interested in.
Let the people
We,
know.
you need to invest your money and be taxed and keep it moving. That's what you need to do. They tax me all day. I don't care. That's fine. Again. I have not worked in 5.5 years, so try not whatever you're doing
Well, because
financially.
what is the alternative? You keeping the money in the mattress? Like what we doing with it?
That's what I was asking.
Is it
How are
in
you earning
savings?
money?
Is it just sitting in
Let,
savings?
let me say this. All right. Let me the ways that you can earn money. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let me if you're earning money, that means you are literally running up to a job and saying you do something for 8 hours and they pay you. Okay. Now that is dependent. Okay, don't listen to them. There's no other way to do this. There's just no other way. All right. Um, um, so if you are trading your time for money, you are going to be limited in the amount of money that you can earn because your body is only going to let you work so certain amount of time. Your job is only going to make you allow you to earn certain amount of money. Okay, so that means your money is finite and your time is finite, right? That's the one way. Now, you could save your money. So if you're don't say that. You can save your money in a big bank and they're gonna give you 0.01%. That's nothing, right? That's not even gonna keep up with the cost of living. If you have figured out that you can earn more money by putting it into a high yield savings account, I don't know what it is right now, but it might be about 4.5%. Okay, that's cool. You're making some money, but when you invest your money, well, there's capital gains as well. That's right. Yes. When you in what was I on? When you invest your money on average can earn 10% a year, right? You can also do better than that. There's no other way to do this, right? If you if you're getting dividends, that's because you invested your money. If you're getting capital gains, that's because you invested your money. If you create a product, you invested your money into producing that product and it's being sold for you. There's no other way to do this. You're going to be taxed. I don't care about no taxes because I know I've made a bunch more money and they're taking just a portion of it.
That was wonderful. Can everybody like the video? this is just a reminder to like the video. D
Like,
does one-on-one and group coaching. Like,
yeah.
if you don't know where to start, if you don't know where to begin, it's time to tap into your lifeline, right? Like, get some help. And D offers those services. I put a link down in the chat and in the description box. Check her out. She has a lot of great information, obviously.
Thank you.
She drags me for free though.
You know what? There's no dragging. I'm trying to pull you up. No, there's no dragging ever.
Pull me up by my scalp.
Listen, if you got to learn your lessons hard, learn them hard, but learn them nonetheless. Okay. All
And I love you for that, and I thank you for that. Um,
right.
so I guess is there? I want to talk about and Julius. We're not talking. You want the shrimp and grits and Bali, and you can do
Okay.
that. I have
I'm
a feeling
behind
Angela is coined up though.
you. You can have shrimp and grits in Bali and money, but you just got to start with the money. You got to start with building the money, growing the money. You know,
You gotta grow the money. You gotta
unless
grow
you
the
were
money.
handed, unless it was handed to you as a child, it wasn't handed to me. So anyway,
Is there anything that you want to leave us with this financial portion? I want to segue into talking a little bit more about travel and a little bit more about your experiences in Mexico. But is there anything
sure.
that you want anyone to take away from this financial portion of the live?
Yeah, I want you to get involved with your money. I want you to start to figure out that your money can be earning money for you. Thank you for that. She gave us the high yield savings rates between 4.25 and 5%. That's great. So what she's saying is to get your money out of big banks. Big banks are only going to give you 0.01%. That's no money. When I say big banks, I'm talking about Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, all of those. Those are the wrong places for your money. I'm going to come back to that. I do, Carmen. Um, Yeah. So put your money in places that it is going to appreciate in value. While you're out working for money, put your money to work, right? And if you're doing that in a savings account, absolutely do that, as well as investing, right? So don't be afraid of it at all. When you look around and you see people that you think are rich or have great wealth, they didn't get it by putting their money in a savings account only. They got it by putting their money into companies that grow, right? Um, they did it by allowing their money to work hard for them, right? When you figure out that you investing and putting your money into things that grow and appreciate in value is going to make you more money than you ever can make in your life. You sh- you should consider changing how you use your money. So if you guys need help with that, she did mention that I have check my website out. It's browngirlsinvest the number 2.com. If you go there, you can, if you need some hand holding, you can book some time with me there, right? One-on-one time. But what I am also starting is I see that there's a need for, I need to get to more people than doing it individually. So I am starting a group coaching program that will get you from absolutely investing in nothing to being able to, by the end of that program, you will be invested and your money will start to grow soon after that, right? And start to build your portfolio. So take a look at those things. No matter what, put your money to work versus putting your money into things that don't grow in value. All right. So that's what I would say. Now, do you do any trading, swing trading, day trading? Now, I absolutely do, but I am not suggesting that for many people because depending on what you're speaking of, I trade stock options. Okay. You can actually trade equities and just basic stocks. You can do that. It costs you more money to trade that way. I day swing and I long term trade. Yes. I imagine you do because you know the lingo. I used my and for you guys that have known me from way back, my YouTube channel actually used to be Brown Girls Trade too. I changed it because too many people came in thinking they were going to make quick money. You can make a lot of money trading, but you could also lose a lot of money trading. And I found that people didn't want to do the work and learn. They want to just make the money. So I don't want to be responsible for anybody losing money. I want to be part of the reason that you are making money.
Do you offer any advice for traders? Do you have that option available if somebody booked time with you?
Yes, I do. I got rid of that offering a couple of I guess a couple months ago. But yeah, I can actually make you a better trader. I will not teach you how to trade. I will not do that. I actually have two trading groups that I work with. They're very experienced traders. I will tweak your trading. I can make you a better trader, but I will not from day one. This is what you do. I'm not going to do that. It's too long of a process, but I can help you become a better trader. Right? I would say to make sure your risk to reward is good. If you're not doing 2x or 3x, it ain't no sense in taking the trade. I would say know the environment that you are about to get in before you put your money in, right? So when I say the environment, today's Friday. So before you trade, I want you to understand: is the Fed meeting this week or today? Right? They're not meeting today. They met Wednesday, but I need you to understand what's happening in that industry that you're about to trade in. Is it anyone's uh, what do you call them report? Earnings. Is it their earnings report? Is this the seasonality for it? There's a bunch of different things that you would need to know, but those are the things that I would say most. And don't get FOMO. Don't just jump yourself in a trade because you see somebody else getting into it. That's the fastest way to lose money, right? Um, that's what I got for trading. Futures. I trade stocks and options. I don't trade stocks because I mean, if I'm bored and I don't know. I don't trade stock only not often. I will do it, but that's not what I'm gonna do most often because it costs me more money to. I don't want to spend that kind of money when I can get in the option and it's cheaper for me and I can make more money quicker. I don't mess around with futures that much.
Carmen,
And
did we
don't
meet
ask.
in South Africa?
Pardon me.
I was asking a question to Carmen. Did we meet in South Africa? In Cape Town? Drop down in the comments, let me know. Um, Angela said I kid kind of, but D is spitting game today. I
Come
mean,
on. That's right.
what else do you expect?
Right. Right.
I have one more question for
Thank you,
you.
Angela.
Thoughts on your ideal debt reduction strategy. You know, that's a good one because some people are like, should I pay off debt first or should I build a nest egg first? What's your take on
All
that?
right. So those are two different things. The first thing is ideal debt reduction strategy. So that depends on how you feel about your debt, right? So some people, I always believe in paying off what's costing you the most money, right? However, there's some people that need to see results quickly. So for those folks, if you need to see results quickly and you've got four credit cards and I owe 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, and $500, pay that $500 off because now you see the benefit in what your money just did. It's gone. It's out of there, right? And so the money you were paying on that $500, I want you to now go to your next smallest debt. But that's if you need to see results quickly. If you want to save money, you pay off what is costing you the most money first. It's going to take you a little longer time, but you know, you don't want them to continue 19, 29%, 29%. You don't want that. And then, so that's her
So wait,
question.
pause. So you said costing you the most money. So probably the debt that has the highest interest rate,
Exactly. I'm sorry. I should have
right?
made that clear. So if you have one credit card that is at 29.99%, I'm not doing it, 30% interest, right?
Oh,
And then the other one is at 20% interest. And then you got one at 8% interest. The one that's costing you the most money is that 30%. Okay. And so people will, I keep paying and I'm paying and I'm paying, it won't go down. That's on purpose. Yeah. And when they tell you, oh, just pay the minimum, don't ever, ever, ever just pay the minimum. Pay more than what they're asking so that you get rid of that debt faster. Right. And so if you're going to decide on taking care of the thing that costs you the most money, once you pay that thing down, 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 or off, you move. Don't say, okay, I'm done with that, and just keep paying those other credit cards at the same level. Whatever you were paying that credit card, you need to be putting it on something else, okay, to wipe that crap out. This is the same thing when people, and now this goes to what you said, Kyoka. You said something about starting a nest egg versus paying down debt. All right, so let's talk about that. So if you're going to build a nest egg, if we're talking about via saving, then if it's in a big bank, you're only getting 0.01%. But if you're smarter, don't say smarter. If you have found a better way, and I think she gave us the highest one was 5%, right? The lady before, I'm sorry. If it is at 5% interest that they are giving you, what this means is that I got a new neighbor and they making a lot of noise. Or you can do both, however you feel about it, right? You can do both for sure. So, for a savings account at a high interest rate savings of 5%, if you got $100 and you're going to decide whether do I put it into savings or do I put it on this debt. Now, if you put it into savings, if you pay $100 and lay it down, they're going to give you $5 back for your month. Thank you. I just earned me $5 worth of interest. Okay. However, if you take that same $100 and put it on your debt, I'm sorry, that $100 you owe them 100, but you're saving 100 over here. You owe them 100, but they're charging you 30% interest. That means that $100 they finna put $30 on it. So any money that you avoid having to pay out, you essentially earn that money. That's the same thing, right? I would say take care of your debt, right? Because debt can snowball. You can do both. If you can afford to do both, absolutely. I'm just saying that the effect of the money is better served paying off debt, right? If you don't have any emergency savings and you need to start putting money aside for whatever comes up in your life, yeah, you do need to be putting some money to the side. Um, I, I don't know where else to go with that.
I mean, well, so I
And one
know
other
a
thing,
little
and
bit.
people will also say, sorry, one other thing, people will also say, should I, what do they say? Should I, or should you invest? You only invest money you can afford to lose, okay? Because you can make money, but you can also lose money, especially if you're not putting your money into things that are solid companies, or you can put it in solid companies and something happen. There's always a risk that you can lose some money. Hey, love, you're welcome.
She's so corny.
I am a
Um,
little bit. Nothing wrong with
I was gonna say I know a little bit from Dave Ramsey, and he, you know, political beliefs aside, recommends that you do save. I think his number is like $2,000 of an emergency fund, which I don't think in this climate that's enough. But like, if you before you start paying debt, I guess my question would be just to have something to where like if you do have an emergency, maybe your car breaks down, maybe you lose your job, whatever, is
it. Yeah,
it smart to kind of set whatever money that you have aside in a high yield savings account before some of it, like maybe your goal is, okay, I'm gonna set 5,000 aside. I'm gonna set, I can only put aside $2,000, but it's there and it's sitting and it's at least collecting interest, right? While I then attack my debt. So then
yeah,
when my car breaks down or something happens, I have that little bit of a nest egg to cover the cost. So I don't have to end up back in the cycle of debt using my credit card to pay off something, or God forbid, getting a loan to pay off
Right.
something.
That's fair and that's smart, right?
Mhm.
Because emergencies are always going to come up, right? And unfortunately, uh, Americans don't tend to have the amount of money they need to get themselves out of a jam. Okay, so yes, having some emergency savings to the side aside is the first thing you should do, right? Because when it comes down to it, if that's consumer debt, they can kick rocks. I mean, if things get so bad, I don't have to really pay that off. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you that if the decision is whether I have enough money to take care of myself or get myself out of a jam, you should have that money to the side before paying interest on something you bought 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's fair. Eileen says I do the 70-20-10 method so I can save and invest as well as pay my bills.
Yeah, you. Eileen walking around with a big brain. What's a big brain? Leave it. Okay. I'm looking at her picture.
If
You
you
got
have
a
any
big
more money
brain. That's
questions for
good, job.
D, we love a smart girl over here. We
Yes, we love
live.
smart.
If you have any more money questions, budgeting questions, financial advice, investing, any questions, you drop them down in the comments. Um, I want to switch gears. I want to talk about you now living in Mexico. So, if you're financially stable, what made you decide to leave the good old US of A? What were some of your motivations for deciding to make your home abroad?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. So I don't know if I mentioned. I'm not sure if I mentioned. I kind of mentioned it, but I don't think I fully fleshed out what I was speaking of. I retired early. I retired when I was 49, and so I'm going to back it up a little bit. I started my career in my home where I was born and raised in Chicago. And so me and the weather weren't getting along very well. So the last 3 years of my career, I moved to the Atlanta area for the weather and all that stuff, right? So I'm telling
I've
you
seen
that
pictures
because
of Chicago.
oh, what that
It looks
mean?
like the apocalypse. It looks like the
That's right.
apocalypse
That's
in
right. That is right.
Chicago.
Um, and so, I'm done with that. I don't ever want to live in a situation where I'm out there shoveling that kind of snow. I don't want to do that. So I told you that because that meant my network is in Chicago, right? So I retired in Atlanta, and um, I didn't build as strong of a friend group in Atlanta, right? I've got a couple friends, but not so much. Okay. And the people that I retired with are old white men, frankly, right? So now that means I am younger than the average retiree. I am in an area where other retirees are not people that I'm going to be social with. I mean, I'm not going to be in very many social settings with. And I'm also in an area where my network is in Chicago. So that means I ain't got nobody to play with. I'm retired. I got all this time. I got all this money, and nobody to play with. So,
Really out here struggling.
so what I'll also say is that when I lived in Chicago, I lived in Chicago, not in the suburbs. I lived in Chicago. So that means I am used to a big bustling city. Okay. And where I moved was really a suburb of Atlanta. And so in my neighborhood, I live in a cul-de-sac. Um, this is my office and this is my desk and my screen that I'm looking at, and that's my window. And out my window, those people are taking care of their lawns. They boy, they cutting grass and it's beautiful, but that's all they doing. And I'm from Chicago, okay? So I needed some things to do. I was bored, and I actually found Stephanie Perry on YouTube, and look at this. So I traveled a lot, but I never thought of actually moving out of the country until I figured out people were moving out of the country. You mentioned brunches earlier. Them people was down there brunching. I got brunch money. I love brunching, right? Well, shoot, I had the time. I got the time. I got the money. So I decided, let me go check out what they're doing, because those people, other expats that I'm looking at are digital nomads. They're out. They have living their life, right? So I don't have to work. All my friends, even if I was in Chicago, my friends at work. That's right. The dog. My friend groups were at work, but if I left the country, I see people out and about, and so I decided to, let me go check it out and see what's up, and that's how I actually ended up leaving the country. It was supposed to be temporary, but then when I left the country, I was like, yeah, I ain't never going back. This is awful right there.
Do you have residency in Mexico? Do you
Yes,
have
I have
a
temporary residency. And I say temporary residency. I could have gotten permanent, but I decided to drive to Mexico. I drove because I brought my dogs with me, but also because I like to I mean, I just like to explore, and I didn't want to be somewhere and I'm having to Uber anywhere. You can't. I don't think you can explore very well by having someone take you from one point to another point. I like to go get lost and find things. So because I wanted to bring my car, I had to get temporary residency in Mexico.
So you mentioned being out in the streets,
Hmm.
busting it wide open, popping for the people.
I ain't
What
say none of that, but okay.
that's what I heard. That's what I heard that you were down there to the San Miguel doing. But
All right.
how are you able to build community in another country?
Well, I would suggest you start that before you leave your home country, right? And when I say start that, I mean joining Facebook groups. Anywhere, most places in the world, you can just type in a few things that you're interested in. If you're interested in being with a community of black people in wherever, black people in X, you're going to find that. Type that in. There's a bunch of Facebook groups that they'll either say brothers and sisters of, they'll say blacks in, black in, right? Type those in. You will find those communities. And before you leave your home country, which is actually what I did, I reached out. What happened? Yeah, I found the groups and started talking with some folks. Then, when I arrived, and where'd I go? I actually went to Guadalajara first, right? So when I went to Guadalajara, I literally left the airport, drove. I rent cars. I drove to my Airbnb, dropped my bag, and then I had to run right back out because I was going to meet about 15 or 16 people at brunch, at dinner, or whatever it was, right?
When you said that number, I felt like my
Okay,
heart
okay. Let me say it for you.
stopped.
Two people,
15 people in one
one
setting.
person.
Oh my
Is that
gosh.
better? I love the peoples now. A lot of
I'm
peoples.
coming down.
But what I am saying is that prior to me, that was my first experience. When I got there, people were there to receive me. I immediately had community, came and had dinner for the first time with a group of people that I had been communicating with prior to me getting there. Right now, you are the awkward black nomad, and maybe 15 people is too many folks for you, but that's okay. That's cool. What? Right? Maybe that's too many people for you. Well, just get in those groups and just start to connect with individuals and say, hey, listen, I am going to be in town these dates. Is anyone open to meeting for coffee or going for a walk or wherever or going to whatever festival with me? People are going to raise their hands. That is how you start building community. You build it before you get there. Even if you didn't do it before you left, if you are in the new country now, do the same thing. Reach out to those folks. Those people are ready to receive you, right? You don't, oh, I'm scared to go. Don't be scared because they are in the same situation you are in. They are in a new country, Playa del Carmen. Yeah, they are in a new country. That you have something in common with them already, right? You figured out how to leave the country, and so did they. That's what you have in common, right? You have in common that you both like coffee. Let's go get coffee, whatever it is. That's how you build community when you go wherever you're going.
Carmen, don't be putting my business out in the street.
Was she out
Um,
there like, what? What?
No, but there were drums, so I was doing the little.
You got the drumming in?
I got the drums. I was doing the little. There were drums. um, that I don't know, that made me lose my train of thought. But also traveling with dogs too, like you can reach out to people to
There,
see like,
there you go,
okay,
Amy.
how are
That's
my
right.
dogs going to be received? Do I need to show them anything crossing the border, driving in, whatever it is? um I told you this, D. I've been toying with the idea of making that drive. um I don't know, might be a little difficult for one person,
Well,
uh but joining the Facebook groups, there's a driving to Mexico Facebook group.
yes, it is called On the Road in Mexico. Okay, that is a really great group to get in to join if you're coming to Mexico, right? As I said, I drove from Atlanta to Mexico. Now, what I did is I drove by myself from Atlanta to Houston, and then I flew my sister to Houston, and then we made the drive to Guadalajara. Now, I've done this. I keep confusing this for some reason. Yeah. So I've done this drive twice. Okay. And then on the second go round, again, I drove myself to Houston. And then a guy that I met in San Miguel, we made the drive down through Mexico. I am not saying that you cannot do it by yourself. People do it often. As a matter of fact, I'm actually considering doing it myself. Um, don't let people scare you. I'm gonna say that first. People, oh, what about the? I'm not gonna say it. Uh, what about them cartoons? You understand that, right, millennial? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right. What about them cartoons? Them cartoons don't care about you.
It's the word that comes up every time I
Yeah,
mention
this comes up
Mexico.
every time.
It's
And for
it's
those
that
of you that
word.
have never heard me say this before, those people are not concerned about you. I ain't got none of their business. None. I don't drink. I don't smoke. None of that. Right. And if you are not involved, and you can drink and smoke, and they still don't care about you because you're not free. You're not their customer. Okay. So they don't care about you. Um, the group that I mentioned, I will say that I did all of this research prior to me making the initial drive. I am a natural planner, so man, I was God, just figure out all this stuff, and I was scared. And I got in this group. I will say this: the majority of that group does not have the background or experience that I have. We have a different lived experience. Okay, I am from Chicago. I am from inner city Chicago. All right, and you don't even have to be from Chicago. Um, the people there are very different than I am. Okay, and so they tend to be a little scarier or a little more cautious about things. And so if you are someone that has good sense, you got good street sense, you're not all scary, this is no big deal. I told you I drove from not Chicago, from Atlanta to Houston and then down through Mexico. Now, once in Mexico, you just don't be silly. I don't drive at night, but you don't drive. No one should be driving at night. But the reasons is not because something's guaranteed to happen to you. It's because they have topes. Topes are a big old bump in the road, right? And sometimes they're huge, and your car will bottom out if you hit it too hard. Or it could be a doggone cow or horse in the road. That's why you don't drive at night. Or because there are no services and it's really dark, or maybe there's no lights. Those are the reasons you don't drive at night in Mexico. And also because there are mountains. Okay. It is not because them cartoons gonna get you. That ain't the reason. All right. So in making that drive, there were two occasions where um, I think the federal police there will be stops along the way where they just want to make sure your car is legal. Okay, so or you're there legally. So I give them my paperwork. That's a done deal. I would suggest that if anybody is going to make that drive, if you speak Spanish, don't speak Spanish. I'm from Chicago, so I grew up in. I'm not grew up. I spent a lot of time in predominantly Puerto Rican and Mexican neighborhoods, so I can understand more Spanish than I can speak. Okay, but I'm not gonna let you know I understand it. And here's the reason: So if a police stops me, and it's not a single police, it's not a they rolling up on me. It's not That's not what I'm talking about. There are actual stations that every car is supposed to stop, and so they can check your car. They're not doing anything to car. They're checking your paperwork, and if everything checks out, you can go. Sometimes they might try and get a little money from you. Now that happened to me, I think twice. So the one guy comes up and he speaks Spanish to me, and uh, I want you, if you're doing this, I want you to put on your best Oscar performance. Okay. I want you to be as dumb as you possibly can. I don't want you to act like if you are fluent in Spanish, don't you say one Spanish word. Okay. I want you to act like you have no idea what they're saying. Because if they ask you for a bribe and you understand them, then you're supposed to give them money. If you act like you don't know what they're saying, then that means you are too much trouble for them. They want to do this quickly and get you gone. They want to get some money and just get on out of here. So instead, you act like, huh? Huh? What? Oh, excuse me. Let me get my phone so I can figure out what you're saying. They're going to say, girl, go. Thank you. One cop stopped me and he speaking a little Spanish to me, and I'm kind of understanding him. And so they want to know where you're going. You tell them where you're going. Okay. So he does this. He said, I don't smoke. He said, and I was like, oh, here, would you like some water, sir? And he said, girl, if you don't get out of here, thank you very much. Deuces. Okay. That's what you do. Now, people behind me look a little different than me. They might stop and, oh, we got to get out of the car. Mm-mm. They finna get money out of them, not me. They laughing to me. Act stupid. Like you don't understand nothing they saying. You're too much trouble. Go on. Right? Not only that, I have the two dogs with me. They don't want a scene being caused. My dogs will bark. Hmm. Okay. I don't know that place. Not that I should know every place in Chicago, but yay for your aunt in Chicago. So my dogs, they started moving when I said my dogs. That's crazy. When I said my dogs, they're gonna bark if you come toward my car. Well, again, that's creating a scene. Go. Thank you very much. Okay, that's what you
Rough
want. I don't
Riders.
have a problem at all. And if you can find someone to make the drive with you, I may consider making the drive with you. Actually, depending on when you do it, I would help you. Wait, hold on, hold on. Wait a minute.
That was a
Wait,
yes.
wait, wait a minute. I don't know where you're going in the country. Depending where you're going.
We could dip into it. We could dip into it. We could figure it out. Like
You
all
can
I
definitely do
need,
it.
we could dip and do it. Dip and do it. Yeah. We'll go
Okay,
everywhere. If I had a driving companion, oh,
let's get
where
it.
you want to
And there's
go? Let's
a
go.
lot of people. And by the way, in those groups, I'm not suggesting this. I'm just saying that I know it happens. In those groups, there are people that will put put a note in and say, "Hey, listen, I would like to travel from this day to this day. Can I ride with someone, or can someone ride with me?" I don't suggest that because I don't know those people. So
Fair,
yeah.
fair. So you mentioned knowing a little bit of Spanish, but have you had any trouble in Mexico, like not really knowing Spanish? Um, no. What?
Actually, I was trying to remember if I would tell this. I'm not going to tell that story. That's horrible. I'm not going to tell that story. No, I've had no trouble, right? And so, no real trouble. I mean, the people are patient with you, right? They'll give you an opportunity to try and figure out how to say something or get your point across. I use Google Translate if I need to. Again, a lot of Spanish, you can actually figure the word out. Some words you can actually figure out if you're looking at it, right? And if you got a mean point game, you good. I'm not kidding. I was in the store yesterday. Yeah, I was in the store yesterday in Costco, and I walked up to a woman. I swear to God, this is what I did. I said cocoa, and I did this, and that woman took me to cocoa butter. Thank you, appreciate you. She said crema. Come on. Okay, thank you. They will help you. They're patient. They're kind. They're not like in the U.S. where they speak English. No, they don't do that to you.
How how have they received you as a black woman?
These people love me. Not just me. They love us.
That's what I was gonna
They
say.
love.
Like, is it because you extroverted and you up here pointing and rubbing yourself and talking about?
Do what you got to do, baby. I'm just no. Generally, not generally. Mexicans actually they receive us very well. This has not just been my experience. Oh, I understand. She talking about. I know what she means. Thank you for clarifying that for me. And she'd have named the
That's
street
what I
80th
heard
and
too,
Good.
Carmen.
All right,
That's what
that
I
Ron.
heard too, Carmen.
She's
That's what
retired,
I
so
heard
she
too.
got.
We gonna put her to work. She retired, but we gonna put her to
Oh,
work.
Carmen, look here now. Whose side you on? Quit playing. You know what, Kyoka? Seriously, we can have that conversation. All right.
Okay,
I'll get your butt down here. Come on, you need to come on down here.
I'll come
Now
down.
back to these people love us. That's not just me. I am an extrovert for sure. Most people want to talk to me anywhere I go. I've had dinner with people just we just met them, or as a matter of fact, in I'm sorry, I went back to the Bayesian thing. I met somebody in the in the in the in the lake or river or whatever, the ocean that day, and we ate at their house that evening. All right, now back to Mexico. So yeah, these people love us. They don't have an issue at all. Had people. They always say muy bonita, very pretty, or they don't want to touch your hair, but they compliment my hair. Um, Something's happening in there. The people are good to us. They're very kind. Um, I don't have any issues with them. I've had issues, but it ain't been with them. Cut it out.
That's very telling. Um, I want to remind everybody to like the video, drop down in the comments. If you have any questions for D, financial or otherwise, please put them in the comments. Um, and yeah, so I remember you mentioning getting a second visa somewhere or getting a second passport somewhere.
It's not a passport. I have a visa, right? I want
You
to
have a
stack
visa,
my visa.
okay?
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned this because actually just today, Thailand Thailand is an area that has not restricted the. I'm sorry, has not required U.S. citizens to have a visa to enter their country. December 1st, they like we done with y'all. Y'all need a visa to come up in here. I do want to stack my visas because I want to give myself options of places to go. Um, Mexico is good proximity to the U.S., but Mexico, in some instances, could be bad proximity to the U.S. And so, if I ever decide I want to go somewhere else, I want to be able to look through my visas and decide I want to go to this country for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. I want to be able to do that. So, I am going to stack my visas. I'm going to probably get to where I'm thinking right now between 3 to 4 visas.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, D, we didn't took a lot of your time. I appreciate you coming down to the channel. I appreciate you. Is there any
Yeah.
final words, anything you want to leave the people with? You know what we didn't
Yeah.
talk about?
What
I
did
asked
we
you a
talk
question,
about?
but you know what we did not talk about?
What's that?
The Redefining Life Abroad Summit.
Oh, you know what? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I got a couple of projects going on. Uh, you said redefining, but redefining your life. I just was involved in a redefining your life summit to help folks move to Mexico, but we now have one November 1st through the 3rd. It is the Move to Mexico conference. And I think we have 13 speakers total, where we're going to cover residency, immigration, health, mental wellness, right, financial pieces of it, right. All of these different subjects will be covered to help people figure out how they can make moving to Mexico a reality for them. I am doing this with a couple of my buddies here from San Miguel, but we are also partnering with people from across Mexico, right? It's going to be a very comprehensive conference. I hope that, can you put my link that I have there if you guys are interested in the conference? If you can put my link down in the comments, or she may have it in the description of this video. Check out our website and register for that conference using that link. And I hope that you can, if anything I've said here, I hope that you know a couple things. One, that it is safe for you to leave the U.S., right? It is safe for you to leave and come to Mexico. I didn't mention this fully, but I've traveled quite a bunch, and I feel safer in most other countries than I do in the U.S. As a matter of fact, I cannot think of a no, I can. I have not been to a country where I felt less safe than in the US at all, right? I hope that what you got from some of what I said is that your money can be doing better things for you. The potential for your money can actually grow for you. If you're working 2 or 3 jobs or whatever you're doing, you can lessen that by putting your money to work. I don't know. I hope you guys got something out of it. You guys check out my website. I do have a group coaching session that will be starting October 2nd, and I do one-on-one consultations if that's something that you need as well.
Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. I can speak for Dee personally. She has been one of the lights of my life. She has
Aw,
gotten me together several times, but I need it. I still need it.
I'll get you together.
And if you want somebody to just give you some, not just advice, right, but some encouragement about your finances, if you really just want to peel back the layers and understand what's going on, whether it's your budget, whether it's trying to figure out savings, just navigating this financial climate, Dee is your person, right? She's the one
Yeah.
who's going to help you lean into your community a bit. Um, as always, I want you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. If you have any more questions for Dee, please drop down in the comments.
Yeah.
And I'll try to bring more people on my channel that are helpful, that are lights of my life, who I love. Thank you so much, Dee, for coming. And yeah, peace out. This was the Awkward Black Nomad.
Thank you so much.